Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, we got Mr. Erdogan, the president of Turkey, and he does what he does best, and that is doesn't listen to anyone. Good for him. At least he's responsible for his own successes and mistakes. So this article comes from the Jerusalem Post, and it is from today, the 22nd of November 2022. Erdogan says Turkey to attack Kurdish militants with tanks and soldiers. As of now, he uses just aircraft and missiles, I guess. So adding tanks and soldiers, maybe some submarines and some ships, I don't know, going on the desert. President Tayyip Erdogan said on Tuesday that Turkey would attack militants with tanks and soldiers as soon as possible after retaliatory strikes escalated along the Syrian border between Turkish forces and the Kurdish militia. Well, remember, the Kurdish militia is sponsored and backed by the big guy, by the owner of the club, the master, which is the United States of America. So I'm expecting Turkish fire to be exchanged with American fire, and by accident or by order, or both. We have been bearing down on terrorists for, I'm quoting, for a few days with our planes, cannons and guns, end quote, Erdogan said in a speech. And I'm quoting again, God willing, we will root out all of them as soon as possible, together with our tanks, our soldiers. Good planning right there. Good job. So, I have to remind you, if you don't know, that Erdogan is talking about going with tanks and army, right? Troops, soldiers, on a sovereign territory of another country. Remember Ukraine? So like this is Syria. Now obviously if you have an uncontrolled how should I put it over there, forces on your territory, and you can't control them because you got the Americans who control them, because it's the Russians probably would take care of stuff together with the Syrian army if the Americans would not block everything over there. But they like to be over there as well, because as I said, wherever you see a war in this world, you're gonna find, if you look at the trace, you're gonna go to across the Atlantic to Zimbabwe. Most of these wars or little attacks or something, you find these guys everywhere. And then they talk about other people being trying to take over the world, and imperialistic tendencies. When I hear the French, or when I hear the Americans saying or pointing the finger, or even the Poles pointing the fingers at Russia with imperialistic traits, or I'm talking about, guys, your history started yesterday, or that's it. I mean, I know enough about Poland to know that in the 15th century, 16th century, it was not a peaceful country that would just stay over there wherever it had its little territory. It was all over the place, including towards Romania. He went towards Russia, he went east, everywhere. So not defending themselves, no, taking over, plundering. How do you call that? And it's just an example. I don't have to use France and United States. I think it's very obvious. But you hear these people saying about imperialistic tendencies. Okay, tell me a country that has 150 some bases all around the world, military bases. Norway? Yeah, okay. So anyway, you have this. You have now Erdogan, which is very not strange. It's tricky because Erdogan is obviously the president of Turkey. And Turkey is doing this. Turkey is a country that belongs to NATO, is a NATO member. Now I know that the NATO alliance is a defensive alliance, we're told each and every day 50 fucking times. So then what is Turkey doing? Oh, I know. it's defending itself. Remember, he says it's acting upon the self-defense principle. Why? Because a woman blew up some marketplace on a street, busy street in Istanbul. That's not okay. But the problem is, the lady confessed that, oh yeah, I'm part of the Kurdish blah blah blah, the ones that incidentally the Russians, the Turks don't like. Okay, those are terrorists for them. But then the terrorist says, no, it was not us. Then okay, someone lies or they all lie. Anyway, so then they had Reichstag reason here, justification, and you take care of your enemies with the justification that, hey, I was attacked, I have to react. You just made me do that. But anyway, so then they go and blow these guys in, not only in Syria, next door, in Iraq as well. And now he sends tanks. Well, maybe he was itching to test his military for some time. And how can you test yourself if not in a real war, in a hot war, which he's doing it right now. He did it before, if you remember, when it was the ISIS BS in the area. Now they're doing it again. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure they got the green light from United States. And I read another article where the Russians, Iranians, and the Turks, supposedly they will meet to discuss the new developments over there. And supposedly, in the article stated that the Russians urged the Turks to take it easy and refrain from doing this and that. But I don't think that had any effect on Mr. Erdogan's desires, which it's up to him. I don't know. Syria is too messed up, not because it is messed up. It's messed up because there's too many interests on the territory of Syria that should not be over there, but they are. And these Americans are there, the Russians are there, the Brits are there, I guess. I'm guessing. I would be surprised if they don't have some detachment somewhere. And then you have the Turks now invading, basically, northern Syria. And the Kurds who say, no, we want the Kurdistan, which they want to include part of Turkey as well. That's the big problem. So we'll find out, but there's going to be another splendid war. And while we are at it, why don't we take care of Iran in the meantime, and the Balkans, and maybe the Taiwan, and maybe North Korea, and maybe there's so many other areas where they can use the military-industrial complex to make tons of profits. Okay, and then they have the companies that would reconstruct with the banking help. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.